What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This is JHouze Radio, episode 72. 3 episodes away from our season finale for the year. We're going to be talking about James Gunn taking over DC films. We're going to be talking about our thoughts on the new Antman trailer. And then we're going to be breaking down a review of how much Los probably loved Black Adam.
I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it. You know what?
I didn't hate it.
I think I'm going to make that the new title of this episode. I didn't hate it. That's going to be the title of this episode. What's going on, Los? How you doing, man? How's life?
Not doing too bad. I was kind of swamped and bogged down at work today, but you know, work is work. What can I do?
Yeah, true.
You know,
True.
I have to go play a movie for the kids tomorrow, so I have to download something.
Nice. Are you doing anything for Halloween? Are you dressing up? Are you going to dress up for Halloween?
No, absolutely not. I'm not allowed to for work. We
Ah,
have
okay.
to stay in uniform. So
Not even like a hat, anything, nothing. Wow, that's interesting.
nothing. We have to be in uniform 100% of the time.
Well, okay. I was supposed
It's the
to
policy
be.
of the school district. What can I do? You know.
Yeah, I was
Or am I
supposed to
sit there
be.
like a rag going, no, I want a costume.
I want to be Maui.
Yo, all the kids told me that. They're like, you should dress like yourself for Halloween. And I'm like, then how was that a costume? And they all looked at me like, maybe let your hair down? I was like, okay, maybe I'll do that.
Let your hair down, put on some fake tattoos, and you got Maui. You should do it for sure.
Yeah.
I was going to dress up this year, but I just got busy and just kind of like lost track of time. So,
I want to see you dress up as a Joker again, makeup and all.
oh man, that would be fun. That'd be fun.
Yo,
I
you
was
did a creepy Joker.
seriously, man. I told myself I was going to go all out this year. Didn't do it. So I made a peaky promise to myself and to my girl that next year I'm going all out. Going all out. I'm going to plan it a few months in advance and either do something Joker or Batman related, maybe even Riddler next year. So I think that'll be fun.
I don't know.
You don't know about which one, the Riddler?
I don't know about Riddler.
Why not? What's wrong with the Riddler?
Because which Riddler are you going to play? Are you going to play the Batman from the 60s and wear spandex? I don't really see you wearing spandex.
Hey,
Okay.
man.
Are you going to play the Jim Carrey Riddler with spandex and a big walking cane, a big walking stick?
Mm-hmm.
Or are you going to play the one for Batman the Animated Series in a green suit full of question marks?
I would play. I'm actually going to pull up a picture for you if I can even. Do you remember Arkham Knight, Arkham City, the Arkham games?
Yeah, I remember it. I don't remember what Joker looked like, but
Yeah, I would be Riddler from that game. I'm trying to see if I can find a good picture to show you guys. But this is the one I'm talking about. It's kind of like a button up, rolled up sleeves, little hat. Look, I freaking love that cane that he has. That cane is dope.
are you going to build it?
It's probably going to be cheaper to build it because trying to buy that from somewhere, they're going to charge me a couple $100s for that kind of cane.
All you really need is some kind of battery, and you can grab an LED strip of lights from Five Below.
Dude, I should do that. That way I can wear it for Halloween and wear it at Comic-Con next year.
Yeah.
That would be dope. But yeah, I wanted to go with that take of Joker because it's just more. It just feels more modern. I don't want to. I'm not Joker, Riddler, because I don't want to do the whole spandex thing. I just feel like that's kind of passe at this point for me. So, but yeah, that's what I want to do. If I don't do Batman, I would 100% want to do Riddler. And that
Really?
and that's the one. Yeah, because I don't know. I just love that character design from from the games. So freaking love it. All right, we're gonna jump into our first show notes topics, guys. Like I said, the main thing we're gonna be talking about tonight is the Black Adam review. Heads up, there will be some mild spoilers, just so you guys know. But we're gonna start off with a few other topics that we're gonna jump into beforehand. First topic, speaking of DC, James Gunn and Peter Safran are both the new co-CEOs of DC Films. Los thoughts.
James Gunn is a great choice. Absolutely great choice to be the head of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think he understands DC better than most, and I think that's a great choice. The other guy, Safran, whatever you call him. I thought that's also the name of a spice. I mean, he has an interesting collection of movies. But as executive producer, his only real good one is Scary Movie.
He produced Scary Movie.
Executive producer.
Peter Safran, really interesting. I think
he had a couple of special thanks. I mean, like if you look at his producer credits, Disaster Movie was one of them. Meet the Spartans is another one, which was terrible.
Yeah, not a great movie.
The Conjuring.
Also, yes.
The Starving Games, which was terrible. Conjuring 2.
Suicide Squad. He was the producer, and Aquaman. Yes.
Annabelle Creation. Flatliners, the new one, not the old one.
Terrible. Oh, the new one was horrible. Oh man.
Suicide Squad. Shazam! Fury of the Gods. The Nun 2. Never heard of.
Wait, there's a Nun 2? He must be working on that. It probably didn't come out yet.
2023.
Wow. I didn't know he was working on a sequel. Interesting.
So he has a lot of scary movies and a lot of parody movies.
So as far as Peter Safran is concerned, it makes sense they want to pick somebody with a little bit of a eclectic background, because they want somebody who can help with the DC universe, who is very diverse. And based off his pedigree, he's very diverse. He pretty much did a little bit of everything. And with the way that some of the DC stories are, where they're like kind of dark-ish, I think that kind of makes sense to pick a guy like him. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I'm curious. I'm curious to see what he does. I mean, he does have some experience in DC movies already with doing Shazam and Aquaman and things like that. Suicide Squad.
Well, he's been attached to the good ones, which is a good thing.
Yes,
but yes, I personally think they brought him there so he's more of a numbers guy. So you have one creative guy and one numbers guy, and I think together is a good balance to kind of work things out.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean, I just think it was more of a smart business decision as opposed to a creative decision. I think they said, okay, we'll keep one in line with business and another one in line with creative.
Yeah, I could see that. James Gunn. I mean, I'm a very big James Gunn fan. Honestly, I love the stuff he did with Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are probably my favorite. Some of my favorite movies in the Marvel universe, honestly, is a Guardians of the Galaxy.
Is it?
Yeah. He did his thing with Suicide Squad as well. I mean, I thought the film was okay. I'm not really that big of a fan of the Suicide Squad, honestly. But
have you read any of the comics?
Negative.
You should. It's an interesting read.
Really?
Dude, you love comic book movies, but you never check the source.
I know, man. I know.
I see. I personally feel like if you read some of the source, you'd be a lot more like you would understand where a lot more of these creative decisions come from.
Okay. Maybe.
Like you could literally just go, because usually they give you a summary.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, this comes from this run of comics. You can literally Google that run of comics and they'll give you a synopsis that's like 2 or 3 paragraphs.
Mm-hmm.
And you could be like, oh, okay, I understand that.
Makes sense. Yeah, true. I feel you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be interesting to see, where they go from here with this, honestly. So obviously DC is trying to really make a move and really trying to change things right now. They're really serious about what they're doing, honestly, which is great. So I'm curious to see where they go from here, man. I'm glad that DC is not giving up, because I was getting a little worried for a second, to be honest with you. I was getting a little worried.
I'm terrified for them. But if they continue the trend of what Aquaman, what Shazam was, and to a lesser extent what Black Adam was,
yeah,
I think they're going to be on the right track to successful movies. Not Marvel level success, but still success.
Yeah. I feel you. Sounds good. Oh wait, hold on. I gotta.
The only thing I'm mad about in Black Adam is that I said I wouldn't watch it, and I wound up watching it.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad. Was it really?
Well, again, it was a simple fact is, 10 years he's going Black Adam, Black Adam, Black Adam. And at that point, I was just like, shut up.
Just honestly,
it's like when someone tells you the same, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and they never do it.
Yeah,
whatever.
It did kind of get me to that point, and then obviously we'll jump into Black Adam talk in a minute. It did kind of get me to that point where he was talking about it for so many years that it almost kind of wore me out a little bit with the whole Black Adam talk. Yeah, I was just so ready to be like, all right, can I just watch this movie already? Like, come on, just let me watch the darn movie. So yeah. But yes, it's good to see, like I said, DC's making moves. Let's hope that this is a good one. Let's hope that they actually start making some really great moves and, wash some of the bad taste out of our mouth that we had over the past few years. So we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I've only saw a headline that said that Ezra Miller finally got fired from The Flash. But I never saw if they're canning the Flash movie. Do you know anything about it?
I don't know yet. They haven't said anything yet. So the word is that he is possibly, if he does get charged, he could face 27 years in jail if he gets charged.
Yeah.
If he does get charged, do you think that they would have to can it? I think they might have to can that, to be honest.
Here's the thing. As long as they can release it before he's convicted, they have a leg to stand on. Understand? And the thing is, too, they could also release it as an HBO Max exclusive.
Yeah.
And not even worry about the theater end of it and just say, screw it, we'll just take our losses.
Yeah, I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what they do, they're probably going to have to take this film as a loss. No matter what happens. I feel like it's just going to have to be that. Yeah. So,
speaking of losses, I have a question for you.
Okay.
Do you think somebody should leak the Batgirl movie?
I did hear that they had a private screening of the Batgirl movie, even though they canceled it. Even though they canceled it.
Where they had that screening?
No. Do you know?
No, I thought it's a legitimate question. I was asking.
Oh, I thought you were going to break out like, do you want to know? And then give me like this crazy, surprise answer.
85 degrees northwest. No, I don't know.
It's near Area 51. Yeah,
no, it's the top secret Area 52.
It's in the real life Batcave. It's in the real life Batcave, man. It sucks that we're not going to get it. It really does suck that we're not going to get the Batgirl film. I really wish, like, there's so many great things that we don't get. We get games that were canceled, that were never released, that we will never see. Same thing with movies. It sucks. I mean, I feel like, I know for creative reasons, and a lot of people who are filmmakers and producers, they're very sensitive about their work. But could you imagine having HBO Max and like you have like the top tier subscription, and part of that benefit is you get unreleased films that were like canned or something like that. You know what I mean? But that would be an awesome feature, but they will never do that because they'll get judged on that. Even though it's a film that's canceled, people will still judge DC on that because they'll be like, oh, well, look at that poor quality. Look at those bad effects. You know what I'm saying? So it'll never happen, but it's a dream of mine.
Well, I think HBO Max, this is me just spitballing.
Okay.
I think HBO Max, if they would release a secret channel of unreleased films or, deep archive dives and things like that.
Yeah.
I think just spreading that out, people are like, oh, if you want to see this, go here,
Yeah.
Go down, go down to the last item, hit the add button 7 times, spin around and stand on your head and you'll get the secret area. I think that will do more to boost HBO Max, especially since HBO Max is about to die and it's getting folded into Discovery Plus.
Yeah, that's going to be...
Or Discovery Plus is going to combine with HBO Max to make a new channel.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be, right?
Yeah, that's supposed to be happening next year. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Like, what's going to... Like, what are they going to add to that? How how different is that going to look? Because that's going to change things. I mean, the Discovery is Discovery and HBO, like that's a pretty big combination right there, bro.
I think
So
it's gonna be a disaster.
really, I don't
Think about
know.
this, okay? The people who are like binging the Real Housewives of blah 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 and
Hmm.
Duck Dynasty, aren't really going to be interested in stuff HBO has to offer. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah, they'll watch it, but it's not the core of the audience. They're two completely different audiences. So this is why I think it'll be a disaster.
I feel like they have to have a plan up their sleeve. They have to.
And which channel do you focus on? Do you make it a Discovery thing with all subchannels, or do you make it an HBO thing with all subchannels, or do you make it a Warner Brothers thing with all subchannels?
I think it's gonna be HBO with subs because when you look on HBO Max now, they have like at the very bottom, there's like different categories or the different subcategories, and like things like that. I feel like they'll probably do that. Maybe. I mean, I feel like that's probably the
Right.
safest bet. Honestly, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with HBO and DC and stuff like that. I feel like next year is going to be a big year because they're making a leap right now. You know, Black Adam just came out and apparently it's doing pretty good scores in some places, and I think it's the top movie in America right now. And the merger that's
Is it
happening next
really?
year, yeah, it really is. It's literally, I think, Black Adam is The Rock's highest opening weekend in his career, which
Okay,
is
I,
which
I
says a
can
lot.
believe that's his highest opening weekend. But I
Yeah,
think that has more to do with DC than it does with him.
of course, hands down, of course. Because I mean, nobody. I mean, granted, The Rock being in the movie is probably cool for some people. People want to see Black Adam. Like that's what they're there for. They want to see what this universe looks like. Because this is the stepping stone of the future of DC films. So, all right. So before we jump into more Black Adam, let's jump into some Marvel stuff real quick. Antman and the Wasp: Quantumania. Did you get to check out the new trailer?
I did. I felt more confused than excited.
Me too. But that's good
Um,
though. That's good.
yes and no. Yes and no. I kind of the more I look at the new lineup of um Marvel's I go what are we stage 4 or
Stage
stage
four.
3 in Marvel. Stage 1 was the original Iron Man, stage 2
Oh
was
yeah, yeah,
after
yeah, yeah.
Avengers.
Right now, I think I forgot what stage we're in right now.
We'll say stage 4 for the sake of argument.
Okay,
Anyone in chat knows, please correct me.
please do.
Um so the more you look at it, the more they're setting up the Young Avengers.
Of
They have
course.
replacements for everybody. Hulk, Hawkeye, you know, you've got the Scarlet Witch's kids, it's just like they're making it so obvious to me, and I kind of feel like this Ant-Man and Wasp movie is not really about them, but it's setting up their daughter to be a hero.
100%. Yeah, I think
And
so.
the beginning of showing the return of Kane, which by the way, he looked comic book accurate, which I was super impressed.
Same, same.
um and it shows his return and her real introduction as a superhero. So I kind of feel it's more about that than anything else, and I kind of feel like they might kill the original Ant-Man and the original Wasp. I forget the actors names, the older ones.
Yeah, I'll pull up their names real quick.
I kind
Uh,
of feel like it almost feels like they're going to die in this movie because they're not really
probably.
focused on
Yeah.
in the trailer.
Um, that is true. So Scott and Hope we're talking about here.
Yes.
Um,
No, not Scott and Hope. The older ones.
oh, like the original. Oh, like their her father, Hope's father and
Yeah.
mom.
Yes.
Yeah, I could possibly see that. I don't know. Like watching this trailer, I didn't really know what to expect. I wasn't really trying to expect anything. I just kind of wanted to get an idea of where we were going. Already kind of knew that we were going to go deeper into the quantum realm. I mean, quantum realm. That's pretty much what the title says, basically. So it's kind of a given. Um, I'm glad that the trailer really didn't. Oh, it's great to see that Bill Murray is in this. I'm curious to see what his character is going to be like.
Yeah, well, Michael Pena isn't in it, and I'm annoyed.
I don't know. I'm curious to see, like, I'm more so curious to see how this is going to end more than anything else. Because, like you said, I do feel like this is going to end in a way where somebody probably dies or get left somewhere. It just is obvious, especially with where the Marvel is heading right now. They are setting up the Young Avengers. I feel like almost every movie that we're going to get from here on out is going to set up the Young Avengers. Literally every movie.
Yeah.
The trailer was very vague, but I think that was purposeful. Obviously, Marvel doesn't want to give away too much.
Vague is one thing, but to me that felt more confusing because the Avengers Endgame was a very vague and misleading trailer. Understand? But it was confusing.
Yeah. True.
The Black Panther final trailers are more of a spectacle. You know, where the first Black Panther movie, it was a spectacle, and the second one to me, like I feel like, and like I mentioned before, I feel like they didn't translate the story. So to me, they kind of dulled what I was looking forward to seeing.
Yeah.
But then again, with Black Panther, I've always been surprised how good the movie is as compared to the trailer. But I just kind of feel like Ant-Man and the Wasp for me was a little confusing. I was like, okay, you know, Kane is there.
Yeah.
You know, they get sucked down into the microverse. You know, they run into, for the lack of a better term, you know, the natives of that microverse. But you also see that Janet Van Dyne, Michelle Pfeiffer's character, is hiding a secret. She was like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. Oh, I'll tell you later.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of feel like they're just kind of pushing, oh, you know, her and Hank Pym, Michael Douglas, is going to die. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels that way.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to tell because, like I said, it's to me. I just thought there just wasn't a lot going on in the trailer, but that's purposeful. I mean, I don't think the trailer was really exciting to me, really, because there was a lot of new faces, a lot of new things. Like there was a lot going on in this trailer. You know, a lot of stuff we don't even have, like, and like an understanding of. So it was, I guess, in a sense, I guess you're right. It was kind of confusing because there was just so much in it that we haven't seen before. You know,
See,
except for
if you would have given me a heads up about the trailer, I would have done a deep breakdown and like dug into comic books and like try to find out where certain characters are from.
Yeah.
Because I was never a big Ant-Man fan.
Yeah.
Because Hank Pym, who was the original Ant-Man, was a wife beater. He was an alcoholic, you know, and things like that. So I was never into him for that. And then Scott Lang is the second or third Ant-Man. I forget.
Might be the third.
I didn't really follow his story in the comic books.
Okay.
So I'm a little like all the real information I have is some adventures he had in the X-Men in the Avengers, excuse me, and little bits and pieces that I've read from him in the Ultimates universe and the movies. So like I'm really naive to a lot of Ant-Man.
Okay. I do have one question though.
Shoot.
Which version of Kang do you think we're going to get in this film? Because everybody knows Kang has almost infinite versions of himself. We don't know what version we're going to get in this film. So if you had to guess.
This is what I feel. I feel that with what happened in Loki and what happened in Spider-Man No Way Home, all versions of Kang are dead. And this Kang was spared because he was in the microverse.
All versions of Kang
he wasn't
are
in
dead.
A separate reality. He was in a separate universe. So I feel like that Kang is the Kang who's going to come out of it, and then he's the one who's going to do all the time travel. Because in the comic books, there's a bunch of versions of Kang because he time travels, and once he time travels, you know, he creates different versions of himself, and all of them don't like each other.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like that's what's going to happen as opposed to something else. I kind of feel like he's the new Prime, the Macroverse Kang.
Okay. Interesting take on that. I don't know. I feel like the Kang that we're getting in the trailer, the one that seems so just like seems like he needs help in the trailer. I don't think that that's what we're going to get. I think we're going to get a vicious, sadistic Kang. Because come on, in the trailer, he's a little like I feel like we got this Kang at the end of Loki already. That's what it feels like.
Okay, but here's the thing: if we traveled into 10 universes and met 10 different versions of you, they're all gonna have so many similarities.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I feel like it's gonna be a new version, but there's gonna be similarities between the one we met. I personally feel that he's, for the lack of a better term, governor of that city we saw. And he became that governor because he was trapped there.
Yeah.
And now he wants their help to get out. And he's pretending to be helpless. And then he's going to try to backstab them.
Interesting. We shall see.
Because Kang in the comics is a real sneaky motherfucker.
Oh, yeah.
And he's a descendant of Reed Richards.
Reed Richards?
Who that is, right?
No, who's that? Who's Reed
From
Richards?
the Fantastic Four? The rubbery guy, the stretchy guy?
Really?
Fantastic? He's a descendant of Reed Richards.
Wow. Interesting. I didn't know that. Los with the random hashtag Los facts.
Well, the thing is, too, is I kind of think like a lot of this, I feel like the end of Black Panther 2 is going to set up Doctor Doom. And I feel like the end of this is going to set up Fantastic Four.
I think we would have to eventually start getting the Fantastic Four sooner than later, since they did announce that we are getting a Fantastic Four film. So it's going to get here. I think, yeah, sooner than later, we're going to have to get something Fantastic Four related, even if it is just like a character reveal, mention of it, because they still haven't had any mention of the Fantastic Four in any of the shows or movies yet. At least I don't think we did.
All I want is a shot of the Baxter building with the number 4 on it. That's all I want.
That's it.
That's it. Because then that shows me they're in universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Kind of like in She-Hulk when they talked about the man with claws at a bar.
Yeah.
You know, and Miss Marvel, they said, well, you're a mutant.
Yeah, true.
You know, like I like those little hints that get dropped in because then it has a much bigger payoff because you're like, okay, this is in universe.
Yeah.
So for me, all I want to see in Antman and the Wasp is a shot of that building.
That's it.
And I'm good.
We'll see, man. I think we're getting it. When are we getting Antman and the Wasp? I know we're getting it in February. I think February 17th of next year. February 17th. That feels so far away. It really does.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so we're going to jump into what we are all here for. The elephant in the room. Or shall we say the god in the room. Black Adam. We're going to do our review of Black Adam. We're going to start off with a few non-spoilers conversations. So if you haven't seen Black Adam yet, heads up. And then we'll jump into like pretty much spoiler territory, but nothing over the top. All right, so overall, Los, how'd you like Black Adam? Give me Black Adam in one word.
Watchable.
Watchable? Okay.
Watchable. Because enjoyable is too big of a word for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I did enjoy watching the movie, but I wouldn't say it was enjoyable for me. It was slightly under that. A hair, you know?
Yeah.
So watchable is the word I would pick, but a good watchable. A very good watchable.
I'm actually surprised. I'm actually surprised. Because I know how you feel about The Rock. I know how you feel about him. But,
about who, The Rock?
Yeah.
I feel like he's overused right now.
Yeah, he is in there.
That he's going to very soon reach the point of oversaturation. And because remember that one movie he did where he was a firefighter who lost a leg and he had to go rescue his wife from a burning building?
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I never seen it, but it does look good.
Do you remember the title of it? Because I don't.
I don't remember the title.
Exactly. I feel like at that point in his career, he was starting to reach oversaturation. Then he just happened to get lucky with a couple of films
that
really put him back on top. And Black Adam kind of now introduced him to a whole new audience.
Yeah.
You know, and the way his character was in Black Adam, he wasn't like he was in Fast and the Furious, however. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yes, I agree.
Like he wasn't like constantly throwing punches and kicks and blah blah blah. He did small but powerful, destructive shows of strength.
Mm-hmm.
But he wasn't like in Fast and the Furious, for the sake of argument. We're like, yeah, I'm gonna punch a concrete pillar and it's gonna break because I'm The Rock. You know, something that's not believable.
Yeah.
His feats of strength and his abilities seem believable in the movie because he really stuck with the character.
Exactly.
And I kind of think he did the character justice, but I also feel like at certain points in his performance, he was a little too cocky.
Okay.
And I don't think he portrayed anger very well.
Okay. Interesting take.
But overall, very good.
I'm really surprised. Really surprised. For me, I would probably, if I had to pick one word, it's kind of hard to pick one word. I guess I would say watchable. It's definitely a good popcorn flick. I walked into this movie expecting it to be horrible. Like yes, that was literally the mindset that I had. I was like, all right, it's DC. I'm here. Let's just like, I'm just here to see it because I want to see where the universe is going. Like that was literally my mentality walking into it. I was not expecting much. And then I would have to say about maybe halfway through the movie, I was like, I'm kind of enjoying myself. And I was surprised. I wasn't bored. The Rock, like you said, I was really surprised. I'm not saying that The Rock gave like an Academy Award performance or like an Oscar, performance, but it was very different from the usual baby oil, punchline, body slamming Rock.
Show the
eyebrow Rock that we got from so many years. The fact that he talked less, and I actually talked to one of my friends about this. The fact that he talked a little less, I liked.
I so enjoyed that. Because it showed strength in the character.
Yes.
Understand?
Yeah.
And it showed an understanding of the character.
Yeah.
Because in all of his previous roles, it's the bravado that he gets off at. Almost like a holdback from his wrestling days.
Yeah.
But with the Black Adam, since he spoke very little and was more of a man of action, he made the character more enjoyable to watch. So I think he did great decision, like you said. 100% agree with you.
Yeah. I really like that he embodied that, because I was really worried that it was just going to be The Rock in a Black Adam costume.
Yeah.
That's literally what I thought we were going to get. I like that they allowed him to try to show, even though he was so powerful, they still allowed him to be emotional at the same time. Human almost. Yeah, exactly. He talked a lot about his family and about his people and things like that, and they give us some backstory. So like in regards to that, I thought he did a pretty decent job. He really surprised me.
Yeah.
He really surprised me. I just hope that over time he keeps that style with the character and doesn't just become The Rock again, like raising the eyebrow and doing weird stuff, like in a weird kind of way. And not to be disrespectful, he almost gave me Terminator vibes. You remember in Terminator, where he had like the little kid, John Connor, was telling him, "Hey, Terminator 2." He was like, "Hey, say this cool thing. Do this. This is cool. This is cool. Do this cool thing. You're too uptight." I got that vibe with him and the kid in this movie. I was like, this kind of feels like Terminator. And like that kind of relationship between him and the kid, and him being so like straightforward and serious, and then the kid trying to lighten him up. I like that relationship a little bit. And in that terms, it gave me Terminator vibes in a sense.
Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that. It didn't come to mind for me, but I can definitely see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah. So
I can agree with that.
Overall, the movie was interesting. I think towards the end it did get a little cheesy, but every superhero movie has its cheesy moments. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Special effects. Did you like it?
Everything was good except the skinny version of The Rock.
Yeah,
His
I
head
didn't
was
like.
too big.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I didn't like
He
that.
looked like he had a football helmet on. I mean, that's how big his head looked.
And honestly, they never showed that in the trailer. So when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't expecting that. You know? But yeah, I would
Yeah.
agree.
They
The
also did one mistake with Black Adam.
what?
But this is story stuff. You
Okay.
know, when we're good into the spoiler section of the review, I'll go into that.
Okay. But yeah, special effects as far as him being skinny, wasn't a fan. Let me see.
I
Your
wasn't a
thought?
fan only because his head was the wrong size,
Yeah,
but
I
it
just
fit the story.
yeah, I feel like if they would have just made his body a little smaller, but not like Captain America before he went under ice small, you know, then it would. I think it would have been a little better.
You have to understand, okay? He's working on the mines the whole time.
Mm,
So if you're working in a mine, you know, you're going to have a good physique
mm,
because you're exerting yourself all the time.
yeah.
So I think he had the appropriate physique. When, again, this goes to the spoiler territory, so I don't know if I can go this, but there's a scene in the movie where his body double is more interacting with another character.
Mm,
Once you're going to the spoilers, I can talk about it.
mm,
I think there it was done really well, but in all the distance shots, it looked like he had a head,
yeah.
like huge. But
Yeah.
when he were more up close, I think they did a great job.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. And chat, let us know what you guys, if you guys have seen Black Adam already, let us know what you guys think. Give us your thoughts on the film. All right. So one more thing, and then we'll jump into spoilers. What was your take on the other characters that were in the film, the other heroes?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked. So glad you asked. And I'll go through them.
Okay.
Aldis Hodge, the one who plays Hawkman,
Yes.
did such a good job.
Yeah.
He was Hardison from the Leverage TV series. He played a hacker and a goofy, funny guy. And seeing him as Hawkman as a tough guy, I was like, wow, this guy can act.
Yeah.
And he did it perfectly well.
Yeah.
I was impressed.
I was actually kind of surprised at that, role too. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. Pierce Bronson, always good in everything he's done.
Yes. I actually loved Dr. Fate in this film. Freaking loved him. I know what you're gonna say. We'll save it.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
Next. The actor who played Atom Smasher, Noah Centineo,
Centennial?
hated that character.
He was middle of the pack for me.
No, the problem is they made him for comic relief.
Yeah.
And I just think he failed as comic relief. He should have just been the new superhero who's a little clumsy or a little out of it. But he was just, they played him too much for comic relief, and I kind of felt like he took me out of the movie more than anything else. You know?
Agreed.
Sarah Adriana Tomaz was good. The girl who played Cyclone, Quintessa Swindell, very mixed feelings about her.
Same.
And I'll tell you why.
Okay.
When you see her before the costume, she looks like a little girl.
Yeah.
But when you see her in the costume,
it looks like a different person.
The costume bulked her up enough that she seemed like a woman.
Yeah.
So I was very, like, the original image of her kind of took me out of it. And the special effects for her power, I was like, God, you would be vomiting everywhere if you had that power.
How are you not throwing up your lunch? Jeez Louise.
Exactly. All the villains I enjoyed. I thought all the villains did a really good job. I was very impressed by the little kid who played Aman Tomaz. Forgive me, I'm going to slaughter his name. Bodhi Sabangui. I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
Sounds close enough to me, yeah.
Yeah, he did a really good job. And I feel like his acting at certain points was better than The Rock's.
At certain points, yes, and there was also certain points where I was like, yeah, I'm not feeling this scene. Like, I think it was just the writing. The writing was just a little cheesy, like towards the end. You know, some of his lines.
I honestly feel it was just his performance. I think that the kid is a better actor than him.
Yeah,
because you understand, The Rock has only played one type of role, so he doesn't really have a lot of acting muscles because he never had a chance to exercise them.
True, dude.
You know,
pun intended on that one.
No, actually, no, it really wasn't. But now that you mention it, hey.
All right, guys. So we're gonna jump into spoiler territory here. So if you have not seen Black Adam yet, if you don't want to know any spoilers, this is your time to take a leave of absence. Unfortunately, but if you don't care,
spoilers will start in 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. Okay, you first.
Jeez, spoilers. I'm so mad that Pierce Brosnan's character died.
Oh my god, that was the fucking worst decision in the movie.
I was so upset, and like there was a point where they were leading up to it where you knew it was going to happen, where he was like standing there giving his speech before he went into like the portal or whatever, and I was like, please don't tell me you're going to kill him. Please don't. Like, I really, when I heard Pierce Brosnan was going to be in this movie, I was like, okay, Pierce Brosnan in a superhero film seems a little weird, but I'll go with it. I freaking loved Dr. Fate. I think he was probably my favorite character in this entire film. And then when they made the choice, they made the decision to kill Dr. Fate, I was like, why? This guy could have been the Professor X of the freaking DC universe.
Yes.
Like, what are you doing? His powers, awesome. His character in general, Pierce Brosnan killed it. I was surprised. I was very freaking shocked. I did not expect to love his character as much as I did.
I knew I would fall in love with this character because of the caliber of actor that he is. Did you ever see him in the movie called The Foreigner with Jackie Chan? It was him and Jackie Chan.
Are you sure was that Pierce?
Yes.
I thought that was somebody else. No, I don't. I must not have seen it then. I might be thinking of something else then.
You need to watch it because it's one of the first times he tried regaining his Irish, because he's Irish. It's the first time he tried regaining his Irish accent and playing a part, and he played the bad guy, and he was really good in that. So I knew he could pull this part off. I didn't think he'd pull it off that good.
Yeah, that.
Damn. Homeboy gets a 10 chocolate bunnies for his performance. I'm just going to say that.
10 chocolate bunnies for Pierce Brosnan.
10 chocolate bunnies for his performance.
There we go, Pierce. I really hope they find some way to just bring him back. Please, let's get a petition. Let's get a petition going for that guy.
I mean, it's a comic book movie. They could say he hid inside the helmet.
Yeah.
They could have said the helmet sent him into the future. They could say all this crap, but
yeah,
I doubt he's gonna come back.
I doubt it.
What
too.
I would
I just
see is maybe another James Bond actor.
Maybe.
Except the last one, whatever his name was.
Are you talking about? I can't think of his name right now. Any other time I would know his name, but I just can't think of it right now.
Anyway, him. I don't like that man as an actor at all. I didn't watch any James Bond movie he was in.
Really?
Yep.
I think I might have glimpsed past one. Probably.
I don't watch anyone he was in. I've seen clips and I was like, he's a terrible James
Bond. Adam Smasher for me, like you said, he was okay. The point where he was like large and he was like holding down Black Adam and having this joking moment, it did feel like you said, it kind of took you out of the movie a little bit. I mean, I appreciate his character being there for a little bit of relief, but it just didn't hit with me every time. It just didn't.
My favorite part of Adam Smasher is when he's driving up to the estate and he's talking to the original Adam Smasher, and it is Fonzie himself.
Oh yeah.
I thought that was perfect.
That was a nice touch. I was not expecting that.
No,
not expecting that. That was a really nice touch. For real. Let me see who else here. Pretty much everybody else. I mean, I kind of share the same sentiment. I mean, Hawkman, amazing job for sure. Cyclone, interesting powers. You know, interesting character. I think I would like to see like some DC HBO Max TV shows with some of these characters. I feel like they would hold their own in a TV show.
But you've seen Cyclone. Have you watched Young Justice?
Negative. I've not watched it.
You've never watched Young Justice?
No, never watched it.
Dude, what is wrong with you?
Never watched it, man. Never watched it. I know. I have a lot of DC to catch up on as far as shows.
Bro, I'm a Marvel fan, and even I'm caught up. Okay, so Cyclone, I did not like the way they displayed her powers, because she looked like she was tumbling uncontrollably, and that's what created the Cyclone.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just like, I was imagining myself in her spot, and I'm like, that's nauseating. The way they did the Red Tornado powers in Young Justice, I would have liked to have seen more. And again, you'd have to watch it to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Atom Smasher just took me in the movie. Like, he's big and he's turning around going, oops, I'm sorry. Oh my God, I bumped into a building. Oh my God, I knocked over a statue.
Yeah.
Come on, dude. Once, maybe twice, like you step on a taxi and be like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
You know, something like that is short and sweet and to the point, and it's okay.
Yeah.
And you could have kept all his dialogue as a newbie in the jet, which by the way gave me very much X-Men vibes. Bro, it even comes out of the freaking
you know what, you're right. Yeah.
That was so X-Men vibes.
That
was
was
like,
definitely
wow,
was.
rip off much.
I was expecting Hugh Jackman to come out and talk about his yellow tights.
Yeah. Yellow spandex. What do you prefer? Yellow spandex? Yeah, I remember that line from the X-Men. I don't know why. You could have kept all his dialogue in the jet, as clumsy as it was, and it would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. It's just when he grew big, he was that clumsy. I'm like, if he's that clumsy, why is he on a team with someone who is strict as Hawkman?
Exactly. Yeah, it was just a little weird at times. It was a little weird. I felt like certain scenes did go on for too long. Like, all right, can we get back to the action, please? You know,
but I did believe the friendship between Hawkman and Dr. Fate. I thought that the two actors, made it really seem like they were lifelong friends.
That was
who kept secrets from each other.
Yes, like I was not expecting to care about any of those characters. I just really wasn't expecting to. And then when I saw their relationship, I was like, I would love to see a movie, a spin-off show. I would love to see more of these guys together. I really would. Like, it was just, it was great. It was freaking great. Let's see. So yeah, special effects were okay. Let's just jump straight to the end on this one.
No. There are pieces in the middle we need to talk about. Okay.
Break it up.
One, when Black Adam comes out of his prison and he's wearing the hood, that's from the DC New 52 run. I love that look. I wish he would have kept the hood for the whole entire thing.
I love that look too. I really did love that look. I don't like the cape.
Perfect.
I don't like the cape thing. I'm not a fan of it.
Black Adam is supposed to be from Egypt.
Yeah, really.
And in the New 52, they made him from a separate country.
Okay.
So they took off a piece of Egypt and, oh my God, whatever country's below Egypt. Oh shit! I used to know what it was.
I don't know. He's racking his brain, chat.
They chopped off a piece of both and created a new country, which I thought was pretty good. Mm-hmm. I did not like the fact that Black Adam never spoke Egyptian.
Well, no, I think he did. Some of his
as Black Adam, no, he spoke English right off the bat. He's speaking a language that's, was it 3,000 or 5,000 years into the future? How?
Yeah, because I know in like his in the scenes where they were looking back at like his previous life, he did speak it there, and then all of a sudden he came back out and I think that would have been a nice touch if they would have kept it. You know, maybe have him speak a little bit of Egyptian and then maybe go into English or something like that. You know, I think that would have been interesting.
Listen, they could have kept, all they had to do was add one little special effects. When you grab one guy by the throat, do a little flash of light, so it shows that he, through magic, absorbed his language. Throw him away, and he speaks English.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That would have been nice.
You don't even have to say anything. Just show that.
That would have been a nice touch, actually. Nice touch.
You know? Because that's the thing. It's just like Shazam and Black Adam can also cast spells.
Yeah, I keep forgetting about that. You're right.
Shazam and Black Adam are the two people who can cause the most damage to Superman because Superman is vulnerable to magic.
Ooh, yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that too by the end of this.
Oh yeah, but we're talking about that at the end.
Yeah, for sure.
The other thing I did enjoy was the simple fact that they followed more of the New 52 thing where his son was the champion and he got the powers.
Yeah.
He was never meant to have them.
Mm-hmm.
I did enjoy that. I did enjoy the fact that he said he's not worthy. They humbled the character. They made him more human.
Yeah.
Which I did enjoy.
I like that too.
I like the fact that you know, he learns quickly. Like, you know, was that sarcasm? What's sarcasm? You know.
Yeah.
There was a couple jokes I did enjoy. When he tells them, listen, we're not going to harm you. We're not going to kill you. We're not that kind of people.
Yeah.
I just ask you guys one question. Can you fly? No, thanks. And he brings him up.
I love that.
And then Hawkman is chasing after them, and he drops one. He looks at the other one. The other guy just starts talking.
Yeah.
And he drops the other one, and then Hawkman is screaming. He goes, "Hey, I knew you were there to catch him." Fucking hysterical.
Yeah,
absolutely hysterical.
I was surprised at how many times I actually laughed at this movie. And it's coming from a DC movie, considering that a lot of DC movies don't make you feel that way.
Yeah,
was actually pretty impressive.
Except Shazam. Shazam's the only one that has a sense of humor.
Except Shazam, yes, for sure. So anything outside of Shazam, it was kind of it was really. I was like I said, I know I said it before. I was just surprised at how I actually really had fun for this, and I don't know why I was expecting it to be bad. I guess, like you said, we kept hearing about it, you know, the film, and we just figured, all right, well, it's probably gonna be mediocre. This film was fun. I got to admit it, man. This film was fun. It was a good, fun popcorn flick. I would actually watch it again.
I had moments of boredom in the film.
Okay.
I did have moments of boredom in the film. And they had one scene of complete unbelievability.
Which one was that?
Okay. So Black Adam gets captured, puts into this jail in Antarctica, right? He breaks out of his bubble, tube, pin, whatever you want to call it. It's not really a jail cell. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, this Egyptian slave who has no experience fighting knocks out and destroys all those guards.
Yeah. I felt the same way. I felt the same way. Low point
of the movie.
Yeah. I kind of thought that when I first saw that scene happen, I figured, all right, maybe he'll knock out one, maybe two, and then say Shazam. But for the fact that he went through like 10 guards, I was like, all right. I mean, I kind of felt that same way in my head. I was like, is he really beating them up right now? Like, don't these guys have guns? You know what I mean?
My whole thing is that he should have just ran, avoided them, jumped over them, and hit the water.
Yeah.
I would have been cheering for him.
I figured something like that was going to happen. Like, yeah, either he was just going to get one or two, or he was just going to kind of escape and get out or some way, like sneak out or something, and then just say Shazam. I was expecting that to happen. But then he started kicking butt, and I'm like, okay, I guess we're fighting now. You know what I mean? It was a little confusing. It was a little confusing.
The reason why I hated it was because at no point previous to that point, to that point in the story, did you see him fight.
Yeah, he didn't.
Chucking guys in the air, throwing them 5 miles away, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's why that part took me out of the movie.
Yeah,
and then from that point forward, I kind of felt like it dragged till he said Shazam.
I just feel like, just like in the Shazam movie, when he turns to a kid, he's just normal. You're supposed to showcase that normalcy, that straight up human side when he says Shazam. But I felt like even after he came out of his little pod, I feel like in a sense he was still Black Adam. Like I didn't get the sense of like vulnerability, the sense of like, man, this guy's powerless. Like I didn't get that sense, honestly. So I think that was a missed opportunity. I think they could have handled that a little differently, but no movie is perfect.
Listen, no movie's perfect, but you don't. Why are you that wrong? You understand?
Why are you that wrong? Why are you that wrong? Let me see. I'm trying to think of what else that I love that came out of this. Well, let's talk about what I didn't like. I think that's definitely one thing. One thing that kind of was a little for me was when the kid at the end gave his little speech and said, "Hey guys, let's come together and protect our city." And then he put up like the little rock sign. Even like the little triangle. Even people in the theater were like laughing like at how cheesy that scene was. It was very cheesy. I feel like that scene went on a little too long. The whole thing with the rocket escaping out of the water and the kid giving his speech, way too long of a scene. Like cut that scene in like half and then get straight to the Shazam and then I'm fine. It's not that I just want action all the time and don't have some downtime. I just felt like the scene dragged way too long. And like you said, the momentum slowed down and it kind of took me out of the movie a little bit. So cut that in half. Cut the kid's speech in half at least. Let The Rock escape one or two guys. And I would have been fine with that ending scene.
I understand they wanted to mirror his son and him.
Yeah.
But because in the comic books, Black Adam winds up marrying that woman, and he shares his powers with the wife and the son in the comics. But I agree with you. His speech was too long. They didn't explain enough the importance of the triangle because the three triangles were their flag and it was everywhere.
Yeah, they did not explain that at all.
Yeah. Like you really had to be paying attention to go, oh, so that's what that's about.
Yeah.
I just kind of felt like, again, took me out of the story.
Yeah.
Agreed. I also love the fact that whole country was cheering for his son, not him.
Yeah.
But they didn't realize it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The ending was a little shaky for me. Honestly, I think the latter part of the film, the climax of the film, was probably the weakest part of the film for me, to be honest. Yeah, I just think that was the weakest part of the film. Towards the end.
I won't say the weakest. I would say the worst pace.
Good way to put it. Worst pace. I can see that.
I feel like it was the worst pace because here you have this Dr. Fate fighting him and Dr. Fate. I mean, like that part of it was great. But then Hawkman being able to use the helmet without wearing it, that's not how the helmet works.
Yeah, I was confused by that. I was like, wait a second. He doesn't even have the helmet on. What's happening right now? Like that
exactly.
that was a little confusing.
Not how the helmet works.
Yeah.
The fight between Black Adam and the Devil guy, I
didn't really care for that.
It didn't feel like heavy stakes. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. It felt like he was just fighting like a really strong henchman. That's it.
Yes. Yes.
It didn't feel like an end of the movie fight. It just felt like middle of the movie fight before you get to the bad guy.
Yes.
Although
the fact that he ripped him in half, I thought was awesome.
That was freaking awesome. That was actually a nice touch. It really shows his aggressiveness. I loved how, and once again, getting back to the compliments of the film, I love how they expressed Black Adam's power in this film. Like, you really do get the sense that this dude will kill you by looking at you. Like, they expressed that very well. I went to see this movie in Dolby, and him just launching, like when he's talking to somebody and he's like, "I'll be back," and he like flies away so fast. Like, I love how every time he did that, it felt aggressive. You know what I mean? Like, you felt his presence. So I really like how they really showcase his power, his strength throughout this entire film. I loved it.
but yet I still didn't feel like he was as powerful as Superman.
Really?
I didn't.
No, man.
Okay, what makes Superman feel so powerful is that he's a quiet character. So when he explodes and shows how fast he can fly, how hard he can hit, how lethal he can be, you feel it.
Yeah.
But because he was always, almost a caveman, ugh, me strong. I didn't get like a sense of wow from his powers. It was just like, okay, he does this. Okay, he does that.
Yeah.
But because he didn't speak a lot, it helped the believability of that character.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't wowed by his power set.
So you gave me a great segue into my next question. Superman.
Yes.
So the film ends with what is her name? I can't mess up her name.
Amanda Waller.
Amanda Waller shows up and tells Black Adam.
Fucking scary in this movie.
I listen. Let me pull up the IMDb because I don't want to mess this up. What is her real life name? What is her real life name? I feel so bad right now. I know this too. I know this.
Yeah, she's gonna be in that movie we're dying to watch.
Yeah. Oh my goodness gracious. Amanda Waller, Viola Davis.
Yes.
I love her as Amanda Waller. She annihilates, and I love that they brought her back to reprise her role, because I was afraid that we were just gonna get a whole new Amanda Waller. To be honest, I love that.
Essentially, the Nick Fury of the DC universe.
Yes, 100%.
But bad guy version.
Bad guy version for sure. So Amanda Waller approaches Black Adam at the end of the film, tells him, well, since you don't want to leave, stay in your country. If you leave your country, I will use outside means outside of this planet to stop you. And we all know what that means. I was not expecting
the
Justice League. I was not expecting Superman to show up in this film at all. I didn't think he was going to do it. I really did not. I mean, I knew he was going to show up eventually. I just didn't think it was going to be this film.
The Rock gave hints. He has photos of him and Henry Cavill in his backyard drink. I think they're drinking a beer together.
Mm-hmm.
So they have that.
Okay.
He has that. He's talked about Superman in interviews. He goes, oh yeah, I can't wait till Superman is in one of the movies and blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. And The Rock negotiated. He says, all right, I'm going to do Black Adam, but where's my Henry Cavill? I want Superman in this movie. The Rock single-handedly revived the DCEU.
Yeah, because last time we checked, Henry Cavill was done with Superman.
He was done. Well, he wasn't done. Warner Brothers. Is it Warner Brothers? Yeah. Warner Brothers is done with him. He wasn't done with the role. He said, I would love to continue playing it.
Man.
And then Warner Bros. Done with him. Then all of a sudden, The Rock is like, no. Bring him back. And they brought him back. And now they're making Man of Steel 2.
I'm so excited about that. Oh my God. You have no idea. Man of Steel 2. I am so excited. Like, dude, this is why I said I feel like we are at a level of just, like, we are at a shift in the DC universe right now. We got Man of Steel, Superman, he's coming back. We're getting a Man of Steel sequel. Black Adam is setting up the future of the DC films. Like, we got James Gunn. I feel like we are at a turning point in the DC universe right now. Yeah. Things seem very freaking promising, man, and I'm excited.
Not only that, you're looking at the cast. Cast is pretty well balanced.
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
Cast is pretty well balanced. And they don't mention it. It just happens to be well balanced. They just happen to be black, white, Arabic, whatever.
Yeah.
They just happen to be that, and that's what I love, and that's the way it should be.
That's
Don't
how it should
mention
be.
it. Don't bring attention to it. It just is what it is, and DC is doing that right. Marvel is only starting to do that. DC
I
is doing
agree.
it right with
I
this
agree.
movie.
I agree 100%. Side note, um, I did find out today that the Joker sequel is not going to be part of the James Gunn DC like level of like films. It's still going to survive in its own world.
And supposedly, also the Twinkle Batman is not part of the DCU.
Do you think that is a mistake?
No, I think it is the most intelligent thing they've done.
Keep those things over there, man.
And let me explain why. Okay, that Joker, the tone of that Joker does not fit with the DCEU at all.
You don't think so?
No, no.
Interesting.
You need to have a Joker that is less tragic and more charming but psycho.
I agree. Makes sense.
Batman has to look physically as imposing as Superman. And Twinkle Batman is not imposing.
No, he just not. He just not.
He's not.
Too
You need
way.
to have someone big.
The word is we're getting Big Ben back as Batman. That's the word.
I hope so. He's been my favorite Batman.
Yeah, same here. Same here. I really do hope we get Big Ben back. The word is also, and like I said, these are all just rumblings, that the Joker that we got in the Batman film, who was in like the jail cell, he might be playing a role in the upcoming DC films as his Joker. You wouldn't want that?
I mean, no. He just looked like he was dipped in acid, and that's not who the Joker is. The Joker, above all else, is stylish. He wears a suit.
Yeah.
He's classy. He can be charming 1 second and psychotic the next.
Yeah.
That is what the Joker is. What makes him scary, you don't know when he's going to flick that switch.
Exactly. You just don't know.
And when you have a character that's just like, crazy all the time, or like Heath Ledger's nee. No.
Oh my god.
No. That wasn't scary. He was the funniest part of the Batman movies.
Wow. Jeez Louise.
I wasn't terrified of him at all. I just literally just saw it as a performance. I didn't see it as a character.
I'm looking forward to seeing, if they don't go with the Joker from the Batman movie, I'm looking forward to see who is going to play that role. I think that is very important to get. I mean, just almost as important as it is to who's going to play the next Wolverine. I think it's up there. Like that is a huge role, and I really hope they don't
Honestly,
skimp out on that.
I believe it's more important. The thing about Joker is he is equal to Batman in a lot of levels.
Yeah.
So I think Joker is a more important role to fill properly. While Wolverine is important, he's part of a team.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to focus on Wolverine through huge sections of an X-Men film.
Mm-hmm.
With Jack, what's his name?
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman. He was great both ways. In a team, because he knew when to push back his performance,
mm-hmm.
and as a solo artist, because he knew when to tone it down. And I think that whoever you pick as Wolverine, you can have a little leeway and have him grow into the part better.
Yeah.
But the Joker has to be spot on from the first second on screen.
Has to be. I agree. I mean, that's a good point. I didn't think about it like that. Also the word is, and like we've been getting so much news coming out of the freaking DC camp. Word is they are working on a new Green Lantern project. I'm not sure if it's a film or a TV show, but apparently
there's two rumors, okay? But both rumors say the same thing.
Okay.
It's not a Green Lantern movie, as in a solo Green Lantern. It's the Green Lantern Corps. So you'll see the Green Lanterns acting as the police of the universe, which is what they are.
Interesting. Okay. I'm just checking online.
And I don't want Hal Jordan.
You don't want Hal Jordan? I think that
I
might
don't
be
want
who
Hal
they're
Jordan.
focusing on. I think. I don't know. I'm checking online right now on the Hollywood Insider, I believe. No, the Hollywood Reporter. That said Greg Berlanti's Green Lantern HBO Max series is being redeveloped because it lost its writer. So I think they're scrapping a few things and they're going to redevelop it.
What I want to
It's
see is the John Stewart Green Lantern.
John Stewart Green Lantern.
Yes. The Black Green Lantern.
Unfortunately, I don't think that's what we're getting. It looks like they said that it's going to be focusing on Guy Gardner and Alan Scott.
Guy Gardner. Oh my.
Yeah. Well, it said the script said that the 8 episodes were going to focus on Guy Gardner and Alan Scott. Maybe they're redirecting who they're focusing on then. And like I said, I'm literally reading this live right now from Hollywood Reporter. So that's where they were going to go. I'm not sure if they're still going to follow that plan. They just lost a writer for the show. It was going to be 8 episodes on HBO Max.
Wait. So what were they said? Guy Gardner, and who was the other one?
Guy Gardner and Alan Scott.
Really?
Yeah. That's what the 8 episodes were going. It said that's what it was going to focus on. So since they're getting a new writer, they could possibly change that. They're probably going to scrap their plans.
I want the Black Green Lantern because he's been a lot of the DC animated universe, so we're very much used to his character. But I would also love the Kyle Rayner Green Lantern, who's a Latino.
Ooh, I mean, that would be interesting.
Yeah. You know, the Green Lantern, it's oddly enough, is really goes through the spectrum of races.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
It almost feels like how it does with like Spider-Man almost. It's like everybody's freaking Spider-Man, you know? So I mean, that's going to be interesting, man. I mean, there's oh man, I'm just so excited. Like I love the DC universe, man. There's so many characters. I feel like we haven't even began to touch the surface when it comes to like live action. Man, we have so many interesting characters that I can't wait to see what James Gunn and company does with the DC films and TV shows going forward. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited.
I think there's going to be a pause in the DC movies for them to get rid of these movies that are already made, get rid of them.
Probably.
HBO Max, or just throw them in the theater.
Yeah.
And I think we're going to see a lull in DC productions, and then all of a sudden,
it's going to ramp up.
We're going to have a slew of good DC movies.
I think the last one we're getting that was pre-Gunn era. So yeah, pre-Gunn era was The Flash. I think that's the last one. After that, I don't think there was anything else in production. I know Aquaman, but that's probably not nowhere near done. So James Gunn might still have a finger in that. But yeah, I think the last one that actually already done like filming and wrapped and everything is probably The Flash.
Yeah. The Flash and Aquaman.
Yeah. So everything else after that, man, it's freaking gun season, man. It's gun season. Let's go.
Ooh, that's a good way to express it. I like that.
It's gun season. Let's go.
Yo, his first film, okay, we should call it that. Gun season.
Yes, for sure. For sure. After The Flash, once we review The Flash, that's what we're going to call that episode. Previous DC universe is over. It is officially gun season. I'm definitely coining that. I'm coining that, guys. Copyright. And yeah, guys, that concludes our take on Black Adam. That concludes our updates on everything DC. It feels good to have an episode talking about DC. I feel like we just always talk about Marvel. It's actually nice to talk about DC for once.
You know what? It feels good to have an option to Marvel. Yeah. I love Marvel. I've always been a Marvel head, even when it comes to the comic.
Yeah.
Okay. But Marvel having a little competition, good for movies.
It is. It's great. I saw a quote somewhere where Kevin Feige was like, he actually said, "I can't wait to see what James Gunn does with DC." You know, of course, he wants to see that because of competitive reasons. He's like, "All right, let's see what you guys got. let's see what you guys can do.
No, I really think it boils down to competition will make us better.
Yeah.
I think I've loved everything Marvel has come out with, you know, except for the Eternals.
I feel like you have to say that at least once an episode.
At least once. But there are a lot of critics who don't like where Marvel's at right now, and I think part of that has to do with no competition.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if you look at when the hype of the Justice League was out, man, Marvel was like, oh, no, we got to top this. We got to top this. We got to top that. And they were great. And now that since there's no competition, they're going more into the TV world, which is awesome. And they're building the stories there to then do the movies. It's good, but I kind of feel like the DC competition will make Marvel better. And that's one of the reasons why I enjoy it. And the average person isn't a DC or Marvel fanatic. It really is the comic book readers who are the DC or Marvel fanatic.
Exactly. Exactly.
You know? Like, I like the Flash in the comics. I hate the Flash TV and movies so far. I actually liked Ezra Miller's Flash. I hate to admit it.
I actually did like his Flash too. I'm not gonna lie. Love this Flash.
Batman is always awesome. Superman is very hit or miss. Some movies are great. Some movies are not great.
Yeah.
But I just kind of feel like, you know, DC, you know, getting somewhere good is going to make Marvel good and is going to make going to the movies an event again. You know, having that choice of, are you going to see Shazam or are you going to go see Fantastic Four? You know?
Shazam. That's another one I forgot. That one's, I think,
Shazam 2, yeah.
Yeah, that one's also one of the last few ones.
Shazam 2, whatever the last one is released, then we're going to start seeing the beginning of the Gunn Show.
Yeah, I think those are the last two movies. No, 3. Shazam, Aquaman 2, and Flash. Those are the last 3 movies that we had pre-Gunn era.
And hopefully someone will secretly release back.
Listen, if anybody from DC wants to invite me and Los, we won't talk. We won't spoil it. If you want to invite me and Los to go see the Batgirl film, like, please, just, like, I don't have anything to give you.
I'll give a 1-sentence review.
Yes.
If you let us watch it, I'll give a 1-sentence review. It could be simple as smart choice not to release it, or damn, I wish you would have released it. And that's it. A thumbs up or a thumbs down.
That's
DC, if you're listening, let me watch it, bro.
Yeah. And on that note, don't forget, guys, like I said, you know, if you guys listen to the audio version, give us a rating on your favorite podcast app. If you guys are watching this live or watching the video version, hit that like, hit the subscribe button so you guys can get notifications whenever we go live. Help us in the YouTube side of things. And if you guys want to support us financially, check out our Patreon. The description or the link will be in the description below. A little as $1 a month will be amazing. We're going to be starting a goal pretty soon on our Patreon page to help give you guys more interactive content. Other than that, Los, do you want to leave any inspiring words to the people before we get out of here today?
Before I say any inspiring words, I would like to apologize to the audience because KJ is not wearing a sexy shirt today.
I just had to keep it simple, man. You know, I didn't want to.
I understand. You had to tone down the sexiness of the
show. Man.
I understand.
You know, I got to share it with Los sometimes. You know, I don't want to take all the sexiness in the room. Come on, man. I'm not a monster.
All I want to say to everybody is take an opportunity to vote. Literally, it feels like democracy's on the line. Go out, vote. Let's get the right people in office to help all our women in this country, to help all our minorities in this country, to help everyone in the LGBTQ community, because their rights are all at stake. That's it. That's all I want to say. Get out and vote.
Sounds good. Listen to the man. Go vote, guys. Go vote for whatever you want to believe in. Go vote for it.
Exactly.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of here. Thank you for your time. You guys are amazing. One love, and we'll catch you guys later.